Okay, so there was some man on the street and some teasers there of, I guess, some of the key findings of the survey. So what I want to do now is just take you through some of those. The first one that may be the most compelling, I think, this is one that jumped out at me. It flashed by pretty quickly in the video there. But this is where I talked before about protection from harm and people are really worried about tangible consequences from privacy. I think we know that there are a lot of theoretical harms out there where people have a feeling that this could be misused in some way, and maybe there is a perception that it might be being used in judgments like hiring judgments. But what this survey, I think, is showing for the first time that there actually is a real tangible consequence to information online. In the U.S., 70% of recruiters saying that they have rejected a candidate based on information they found online about them. Seems to be very compelling. You'll see it tails off with the other countries, so there's been less tangible evidence today, but I'll show you later on that the trend is for those countries to be much more like it is used in the U.S. for now. So what are the key things that people are finding online to make these judgments? You'll see the top reasons here are concerns about the candidate's lifestyle, inappropriate comments and text that have been written by the candidate themselves. Further down, you'll see there's inappropriate comments and text by colleagues or acquaintances and others. Unsuitable videos and photos is another key thing that forms an impression about online, a negative impression, given this is why they reject candidates. So those are the top reasons. And where do they look? So where we found that the HR professionals are looking, they're using search engines primarily to find information, and I guess that's guiding them then to social networking sites, video and photo sharing sites, very prominent. Professional networking sites are also being used here. So I think that's important to think about the potential positive side of an online reputation as well. So for better or for worse, your online information about you online is now a part of your resume. So let's talk a bit more about that positive side. The recruiters did say that they felt a positive online reputation could influence them to a great extent or to some extent. So that's a fairly compelling number that think that information online could actually influence positively in the recruitment process. We asked the organizations or the HR professionals to tell us about whether it was a corporate policy for them to look at online information as a part of the process. And you can see for most of the countries, the actual use of the information seemed to match the policy. For example, in the United States, 75% of the HR professionals said that their company did have a formal policy for looking at online reputation information as a part of the recruitment process, and a little more than that were actually using it. The one with the most disparity was Germany, where only 21% of companies did have it formally as a part of their recruitment policies, but 59% of the professionals were actually looking. And then we also asked them how they think about this in a few years' time. What's the future trend here? And overwhelmingly across all countries, they said that the reputational data use will increase significantly. Those blue bars there relate to them saying that online reputational information will be used all or most of the time in 5 years' time. So I guess that tells us that even for places where it may not be having as much impact today, it certainly will in a few years' time. And as we know, what people are posting today will often still be around in a few years' time. So it's not that those countries need to worry less. People in those countries need to also take action. We then looked at what individuals are doing to protect themselves. And we did find a bit of a disconnect here. Looking at US data, 63% said they were actually concerned that their online reputation might affect their lives. But we found that less than half of them were actually considering it. So they were less than half of them were thinking about the impacts of what they were posting and as they posted content online. And 1/3 of people took no steps to manage their online reputation at all. But this does imply that many consumers are actually taking some action, so we also looked at that to find out what people are doing today. And what we found is that the most predominant step that people are taking is to restrict who has access to the sites, so really trying to control the access to their profiles and the like. Not sharing publicly what sites they use, which may or may not be that effective because they're probably searchable often. Using multiple profiles. You heard one of the people on the street talk about this creating a separate sort of personal and professional profile. Quite a number of people are doing that and keeping them separate. So that's what we found people are doing, and I think what we've learned from this is that online reputation can be a liability, and I think we've learned that online reputation can be an asset. So the guidance that we're issuing to our customers, and we've got these in the pack. So if you didn't pick one up on the way in, you may choose to pick one up on the way out. But this is guidance that we're providing to individuals to better manage this. And we're suggesting 3 steps. The first is to give yourself an online audit, to actually do what the recruiters are probably doing. Do these searches, look at these sites, and look sort of objectively and critically at what information there is out there about you, and how comfortable you are with that. The second point is focusing on the positive side. It's how can we actively cultivate or manage a reputation that will be useful, so on the asset side of the ledger. How can we create, maybe through professional networking sites and the like, create the positive effect that we would want, and then to monitor and look and protect against the downside, so that if you do find that there are things out there that maybe friends have posted about you or the like that you don't want up there, to take steps. And we've got some tips on and suggestions on how to approach that to try and get information removed. So those are the key steps that we're releasing as part of our guidance. To find us online, we have, as you saw at the end of the video, we have a Data Privacy Day site where we've got this research. The detailed research is up there as well. The video is published. So if you want to see that again, that's where you can find all of that. And then we have an evergreen site, which we call Protect, Microsoft.com Protect, where we have a wide range of consumer guidance about how people can protect themselves online, everything from phishing scams to the security on the PC, through to online safety tips and guidance like we've just outlined today. So those are our destinations for it. And I also want to point you to another site, Microsoft.com WAC Privacy. We say WAC, that's /, where we have a wide range of other things. If you're interested in learning more about how whole approach to privacy, how we integrate that into our business, the first paper listed there deals with that. More of that data governance guidance I mentioned earlier is now up on that site. And we also tackle a couple of topics like cloud computing and what does privacy look like in the cloud computing era, a vision for how we might overcome online fraud and identity theft. And we also release there our guidelines for software developers, basically taking all of the standards that we employ within Microsoft and train our software developers on to build privacy into products and services. We've made that public as well as guidance to the developer community. So with that, I want to conclude. I'm going to hand back to Jules, who will be introducing the panel, and really looking forward to a rich discussion. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Brendan, and let me ask our panelists to come up. And while they do, I will tell you, there was a great cartoon in one of the newspapers the other day, and it was one of these guys sitting at a computer, and he's like, I got to stop this addiction to looking up things that I don't really care about. And if you've spent any time like I, sort of just curiously bumping into one thing or another, well, that's my excuse for last week somehow stumbling across a dating site which released a survey. They analyzed somehow which of their members were really getting responses. Was it a sexy picture? Did that get you more responses? Salona, you know this one? Yeah, who is it that did this study? OkCupid did a study. Salona is our official social networking technical